Hello everyone, this is Korosh Erfani and today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. I would like to discuss the main subject of the day, which is the preparation of the United States to have military action against Iran with regard to what happened to the protesters. And as you can see right now, many mainstream medias are reporting that there is effectively an increasing tension between Iran and the United States. And we know that under the influence of Israel, the United States is supposed to do something with regard to what happened to the protesters in Iran, their repression, their killings, and of course many other issues that are related to that. But let's discuss a few points regarding this. We have a very serious and obvious opposition of the Arab countries with regard to what is happening between Iran and the United States and the possibility of having a military conflict. The Arab countries we are talking about, or the regional countries, they are not really the allies of the Iranian regime. We are talking about the Saudi Arabia, Turkey, or Lebanon, Jordan, and this kind of country. So why they are so worried about, or Qatar, why they are so worried about what's going on in Iran, why Pakistan is seriously in fear somehow that something is going to happen between Iran and the United States. The main reason of the worrisome for this country is the possibility of having a huge regional chaos. Let's formulate it in a very clear way, that we are talking about a chaos that we didn't have anything alike, or with precedent so far. So a total chaos in the region, which means that no business for those countries like Saudi Arabia, United Emirates Arab, or Qatar. It means many refugees, millions. We don't know how many really, because we are talking about a country with 90 million population. So there would be millions who want to flee Iran, and in this way we are going to have something that is not comparable at all with what we saw in Syria. Because for the Syria it was a matter of at most I think 3 to 4 million people, right? And usually in Turkey and toward Europe. But for the case of Iran, we are talking about a country with almost 9 countries as neighbors, all around, and a lot of people able to get to UAE or to Kuwait or other countries. Just imagine the little distance of the Strait of Hormuz until some of the Arab countries of the southern Persian Gulf. So in toward the Central Asia, Pakistan, Iraq, Turkey, a real chaos where nobody is effectively at safe, if we want to be realistic. So that's why they are deeply concerned with what is going on between the United States. And if the United States start effectively this mad operation against Iran, certainly this total chaos will be there I am telling you, for years. And not only the regional economy, but the Asian economy and the world economy will be hit seriously. So that's why these countries are really worried about it and against such an action. So you have Israel that wants this action, that's pushing, that's organizing everything so that the United States is engaged in such insane action against Iran. On the other hand, you have a lot of countries in the region that are opposed completely to what the United States can trigger. Another reason, if this action will succeed, let's just imagine that the attack against Iran gets ahead and Iran is done. The Iranian regime is done. So what we are going to have, either completely destroyed Iran or an ally for Israel. A puppet of Israel, like the son of Shah or something, but in favor of Israel. In this case, the Arab countries that are witnessing the aggressive strategy of Israel since we shouldn't forget that since October 2023, 7 October, we have seen Israel bombing something like 7 countries in the region. So the Arab countries know that Israel is coming, right? One after another. They are all in the line, and with their turn, Israel will come to each of them. Qatar can be one example of this case. So the Arab countries don't want that. The regional powers like Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia don't want that. They don't want to have an Israel that is too powerful, too much power, military power or action power in the hands of the Zionist entity. They don't want that, right? Because they know that the greater Israel is a real project for the Zionists. For the right-wing extremists of Israel, is a project, and it includes a lot of lands and locations within these Arab countries. So they know that if they can change completely the equation of power in the region in favor of Israel, in this case, we are going to have something extremely bad for all the Arab countries. And on the other hand, don't forget that these Arab countries are now recalculating everything, because if the United States does that in the favor of Israel, and for the disadvantage of all these Arab countries, so they will review their alliance or their strategic relationship with the United States, because it means that the United States is with their enemies, Israel, and not anymore protecting any countries against Israel. So in accordance with all the promises that had been done by the United States, the Arab countries are expecting that Trump stops right now the action against Iran in such a way that the whole region doesn't sink into the chaos and the total absolute hegemony of Israel. So this point of view is very point is very important, because otherwise it's sure that Israel, which is right now somehow and to some extent stopped by a block in which Iran is playing a very important role, once Iran is not there as a factor, of course, Israel can do whatever it wants with all the countries in the region. So that's why Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey right now are trying to see if they can create a strategic alliance, in order to defend as a group, as a bloc themselves. So another point, I would like to go even farther and saying that Israel is not even thinking about replacing the Iranian regime with a pro-Israeli regime. This point could be very paradoxical for many people, thinking that why Israel doesn't want to have a puppet government in Iran, for example. The reason is very simple, because even a puppet government cannot really last a lot, because the country is completely devastated. We are talking about Iran, the after-war Iran. So that's why the country will be destroyed, and a puppet or incompetent government, no nationalist government cannot do anything important over there. So there would be chaos, and the chaos means effectively against the Iranian nation, opposed to the Israeli government or Israeli supported government, and then something against Israel. So that's why the idea is not that. The idea is this one. Israel wants the transformation of the Iranian nation state into a failed state, into a stateless nation. The objective is not to replace the Iranian regime. The objective is to deprive the Iranian from any regime, from any government, from any central government, in such a way that Iran gets completely not only destroyed but decomposed. What Israel wants for Iran is not any regime change. Don't forget that. This is the most important point that can bring us toward a miscalculation. Israel doesn't want that at all. The only thing that Israel is looking for is to bring Iran down in such a way that there won't be any Iran, any entity that calls Iran for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's the objective of Israel. Israel wants the destruction of this entity as a nation state. Israel wants to transform Iran into something like Libya, Syria, Yemen, where there is no central government, where there are the armed group, the militias, the local armies under the influence of Israel fighting with each other. Israel wants ISIS in Iran or ISIS-alike groups in Iran, and it has invested for years millions and millions of dollars on the Kurds, on Azeris, on the Afghan, on the other side of the borders, and other group who are looking for the decomposition, of Iran, disintegration of Iran. This is what Israel wants. So that's why this is a huge mistake to believe that Israel wants to topple the Iranian regime. No, it wants to topple actually the state, the nation state, the institution of a state, in such a way that Iran becomes a very good example of stateless nation, a failed state, to which you can do whatever you want. Occupy the interesting parts of Iran where there is oil or some other sort of natural resources, for example, and then let other parts of Iran fighting each other in a civil war and killing each other and dying from lack of food, water, and whatsoever. Does it make sense? I think it makes sense of what we see as the policy of the Israeli government regarding the whole region for the greater Israel, and of course the usage of the American military force as leverage to get to its objective. The final point. This is something that can happen or that could happen, right? But don't forget that. This cannot be understood without taking into account the nature of the Iranian regime. We are talking about a mafious ideological entity that we call Islamic Republic of Iran. But maybe the non-Iranians don't know exactly what kind of entity is the Iranian system, the political system or Iranian regime. We know, we the Iranian, who have been dealing with this regime from the day one till now, we know exactly what kind of entity it is, what kind of modus operandi it has, and what kind of worldview the leaders of the Islamic Republic have. So that's why let me develop this last point. This ideology, this point of view, this worldview of the Iranian regime or Iranian top leaders is such that if they have this impression that United States or Israel or whoever wants to root them out, wants to abolish them completely, they are going to react very badly. I can tell you that this idea or a story about the Samson plan by Israel, according to which if there is in the day D where Israel is going to disappear, all the nuclear warhead and that Israel has will be targeting any important part of the world, the whole globe. The idea of Israel is that if Israel cannot exist, the whole humanity cannot exist or must not exist. So not exactly the same thing, because the Iranian regime doesn't have that much capability, nuclear, for example, warhead. But I can tell you that they have a huge destructive force that they won't misuse if they know that they are going to vanish. They won't deprive themselves for using it in the region. I am not talking about the globe, I am not talking about the world, but in the region, the Middle East. And in the core of that, of course, it's Israel. So we cannot imagine really that this regime, who did a lot of services, a lot of positive things for Israel, for the benefit of Israel, I mean, at the end of the day is completely sacrificed by Israel. They cannot imagine such a thing. So that's why there is a huge feeling of revenge, vengeance in the among the top leaders of the Iranian regime. And let me use the term, they have an extremely apocalyptic view on their own existence, which means that they consider the end of their existence as an apocalypse. You can be sure about that. It had been theorized, it had been formulated, and it had been taught, established among those who are the real decision maker of the regime. If they know that they are done, they are over, if they know that they are going to be in the hands of American soldiers or Israeli mercenaries or even the Iranian people, they are triggering this apocalyptic plan that they have for the whole region, So you can be sure that the Arab countries know that. That's why they don't want that the United States, for the account of Israel, activates such a plan, because they know that they will be also targeted, even though they don't have anything directly in this destruction of the Iranian regime, but they know that the Iranian regime will target their countries, their oil industry, the oil facilities, and everything. So that's why I think we are on the brink of something extremely serious. When I am talking about the apocalypse, it's not only in the mind of the Iranian regime's leader. The apocalypse is potentially over there. In such a scenario we are talking about, there would be a possibility to touch and to experience the apocalypse. Why? Because such a war will bring the other countries into this conflict. For sure, Pakistan will be involved with its nuclear missiles. Turkey, with its mighty army, will be engaged. Saudi Arabia, with everything that it accumulated as military forces and equipments. So we are going to have a real hell in the region if this war we are talking about is triggered. So that's why we don't know for now what's exactly the decision of President Trump regarding his promise or his threat. I don't know how we have to call that. But if it's serious, if it starts to be achieved by the United States, any kind of attack, any kind of serious blow to the Iranian regime, we can be sure that we are going to have the most serious crisis of the 21st century. I'm pretty sure that the same thing that we saw in the 20th century as the Second World War will be a little incident compared to what is potentially can start in the Middle East, and then in the whole region, in Asia, in the Central Asia, toward Europe, and in a global level. So that's why we must be attentive, and we shouldn't forget that at the origin of such a chaotic, negative, and gloomy situation is Israel, is Zionists. The Zionists have this idea that this is a historic opportunity that they cannot really miss, right? They think that their time has arrived, and now they think that they had the opportunity before and they missed that 9/11 and so on, but this time they don't want. They have this opportunity and they don't want to miss it. They don't want to let this opportunity or this chance from their point of view go. So that's why we must wait for the worst case scenario, and I think Israel is getting ready for that, because they are in trouble. They are the Zionist entity is in shambles, and I am pretty sure that in order to export it, to get away from this internal collapse and implosion, they are effectively waging this war through the United States, through the Epstein files, and so on and so on. It's very bad, and we are waiting for the decision of the United States. We will see, and I am trying to report it as soon as we get really a good information about what the United States is going to do in Iran. Thank you very much for watching this video.